Transformative Living. I am Ashley Spurgeon, your host. I'm so glad you're here today. Today our topic is self-confidence. This is something that really everybody struggles with at some point in their life. You think you're alone in this, and you're not. One thing I noticed is that as you watch people, you watch movie stars, you watch people on stage that speak, you watch people in business, you watch some people just going down the street, that the number one most attractive trait in a person, and this is even when you're looking for a possible date, a spouse, the number one most attractive trait in a person is self-confidence. So we all want this. We want to be seen as attractive. We want to be seen as confident. But everybody struggles so much with it. I know in my life journey, I wanted to be loved. I wanted to fit in. I wanted everyone to like me, accept me, and I really struggled with wanting to be included. With these desires running my life over and over, I really sold myself out. That's what I did. I learned to be a people pleaser. I sacrificed my values. I learned to question my self-worth. I doubted myself. I hid from myself. And finally, I felt I had lost myself. I would sacrifice for others so that they would love and accept me. I would try to give them everything they wanted, hoping just to get a little bit back. Over time, I found I really didn't like myself much anymore. I didn't even know who I was, why I felt so lonely, used, and alone, even though I was surrounded by people. The layers of masks, the brand name label clothes, where we go, who we talk to, the work we do, yet we feel so alone, empty. It seems to be the story of so many people, even those we would never suspect that feel this way. Does this sound familiar to you? So, once again, the number one attractive trait in a person is self-confidence. The question, though, is how can you be self-confident if you don't know who you are? We tend to live our lives based on the perceived expectations of others. It could be a spouse, it could be your group of friends, it could be your parents. That's really a high bar to achieve because it's unrealistic and it doesn't reflect who you are. After years and even decades of being someone we're not, how do you get back to the core of who you are? And if we do, will those in our lives still love us? So back to the insecurity. First off, who will love us is not even a question to be asking if we don't love ourselves. We can be open and loving to others and throw such terrible judgments on ourselves. Don't think you're alone. Everyone struggles with this. Everyone, even the most successful, struggle because the more successful someone gets, the more of an imposter they can feel. They have a fear that others may find out that they're not as confident and secure as everybody thinks they are, or that they don't really deserve all the success that they've attained in life. So let's step down a notch. This is just something that I went through personally, and it really helped me, okay? Let's step down. You're at home alone. No one is around, nor will anyone be showing up anytime soon. You had a good day, and you also feel really, really good. What do you think about? How do you act? Who are you when no one is watching? The other day I left work and I was in a really good mood. I had some good news and I said, you know what? I want to celebrate, so I'm going to go do something really nice for my husband. I was driving down the highway. I was just chugging down Highway 59 and then Elton John came on the radio. Well, not the radio because I don't listen to the radio. It was on my podcast. I knew all the words. And I sang along loudly and out of tune and loving every second of it. I must have looked like a nut to those passing me. I only thought that for a second, though. I changed what I thought, really caring about what they thought, to how I felt. I'm really happy. I'm having a great day. And I don't care what kind of judgments people may put on that. Now, the goal is let's live like this all the time. Let's be like children. Let's play. Let's laugh. Let's live in the now. Okay? But what I really thought is, okay, they're thinking, man, she looks like a nutcase. But what it really may come down to is they say, wow, I really wish I could feel that good. I did look like someone having a good day. I love this side of me. It'd been a while since I'd seen this side of me because I could be a little serious at times. My kids, when they were growing up, they always knew Mom was in a good mood when she was singing at full volume. I will never go on stage and do this for you. I lost my singing voice years and years ago. But they knew I was feeling good about myself. And what was amazing about that is I was able to instill that in them. So that day, it really was awesome. You know, it wasn't just that I got some good news, but I had a huge insight and a great breakthrough. No one can jolt that confidence or how much I loved who I am in that moment. You will learn about me over time if you keep following. Feeling great for me, it's for me. This is something I hold on to for myself. I really don't give a beep if someone else doesn't like it. Feeling sure and confident is for me. I spent most of my life trying to live up to others' expectations. I had the classic childhood of feeling I wasn't enough, or I felt like I'd never amount to anything. Oddly enough, though, they were not the expectations of others. That's just what I perceived as the expectations of others. Growing up with skewed thinking was no bearing on my parents, who were amazing, and they gave me everything I could have dreamed of. They were exceptional parents. But the problem was my perception of what others expected of me. Over the years as an adult, I destroyed my life several times trying to please others. I literally destroyed my life just to be accepted and be loved. None of that worked. I found out in very devastating ways. After a tragic 20s and 30s, I was a widow and I was divorced. And at 40, I said, that's enough. No more. I learned to get to know myself, to love myself, to stop caring what everyone else thinks, expects, or likes, and started liking and loving me. Geez, that sounds really selfish. But listen, living the best version of ourselves is not selfish. Now, because we're so clear with ourselves, we're in a place that we can fully serve others. Now, don't mistake serving as pleasing. Those are very, very different. Okay? And don't think that caring for and loving who you are is self-centered or egotistical. It's quite the opposite. Serving others means being 100% genuine and authentic with those around you. Owning up to our mistakes and failures, constantly growing and learning who we are. Over the decades, I've learned that I really like me. If others don't, that's okay. I do. I like to attract those who do like me. And I learn to stretch and grow from those that don't. But I'm not going to change who I am and my level of confidence in myself and my abilities based on what other people are casting out at me or what I think other people are casting out at me. So what are the things that we learned from being more confident? Success is easier. Failures are embraced and propel us forward. We don't have to be perfect. Some have very different journeys to travel. It's okay if somebody does not like us. And the most important, we cannot fix anyone but ourselves. Okay, so we'll go back. Number one, success is easier. This is because now that we know who we are and we're willing to take more risks, we're willing to fail bigger, and we're willing to own up to mistakes. We're willing to own up to those failures, which comes into number 2. Failures are embraced and propel us forward. That opens the doors towards more possible success. And it feels amazing. You get to the point where if something fails, you almost just cheer it on, because you know if you fail enough times, eventually you're going to hit the mark and success is going to be there in your goals. Okay, we don't have to be perfect. When you finally get to the point that you don't have to be perfect, you've just taken a huge weight off your shoulders. This is number 3. We do not have to be perfect. Nobody is. So expecting that of ourselves is completely unrealistic. Now, we know this. We know this in our head. But to get it to our heart so that we can relax and learn to enjoy living. Okay? Perfectionists, you're constantly trying to repair, resurface, redo everything so that it comes out to whose idea of perfection? Just our own. I tend to be OCD. I was the person that would always take something on myself because I figured I could do it better than anybody else. I could do it quicker than anybody else. And what I ended up trying to be perfect was just completely burned out. Yes, I was really good at what I did. I had a lot of confidence in what I did. But also what I was doing is taking away from others the ability to learn and grow. So I stepped back a little bit. I don't have to be perfect. You'll see this on video. There's some days I come in and I don't look perfect. I don't talk perfect. I don't say the script. That's okay. We don't have to be perfect. We just need to believe in ourselves. Number 4, some people have very different journeys to travel. So, we understand our journey is our own. We can listen to the advice of others. We can listen to the input, all the great, things that they have to put towards it. But we know this is our journey. Whether it's perfect or not, of course, we go back to the perfection. It's not going to be a perfect journey, but it can be a joyful journey if we just take every moment. And if we fail in that moment, that's okay, because then we know, hey, we just learned something new. It's our journey, just like that is their journey. Even when you're married or with your children, people that you align yourself with through your path, it's still the individual's journey. We can support each other in it. We can encourage each other in it. But this is something that you do yourself. It's okay. Number 5, big one. It's okay if somebody doesn't like us. I'm the kind of person, I wanted to be loved by everybody. I wanted everybody to accept me. I wanted everybody to include me. Well, in reality, that doesn't happen. Not everybody's going to like me. At this point in my life, I am perfectly okay with that. Because those that do, they get to learn and grow from my experiences. They get to learn and grow from our association, our love for each other, our community together. And these are the people I want to surround myself with. And those that don't love me, they're the ones that if they do give input, I love it, because they're the ones that let me to see a side of myself that I may not see. So I don't get upset. I'm human. I have emotions. Sometimes it'll hurt when I think, I thought that person liked me, but really they don't. There was a time in my work that I realized that a lot of the staff didn't really care for me. I was a marketing director in a law firm, and in fact, I still am. And everybody else there was very, very legal-minded. I'm business and psychology-minded. So we don't always mesh really well. Our ways of thinking are very different. How we care for our clients are very different, where I'm very empathetic and open and caring. And I want these people to have absolutely the best service. And they're thinking numbers and logistics and strategy to help these people get out of debt. We work with bankruptcy law. So we deal with a lot of tragedies, but our ways of doing things are very, very different. Our ways of thinking are very, very different. And so I realized that they don't always like me because they don't understand my approach. But that's okay. I don't want to be the one in there working with the numbers. I want to be working with the hearts, because that's who I am. Now, over, the 5 or 6 years that I've been in the firm, we've come to an understanding of how different we are. So things have really worked out. But, sometimes when things aren't smooth, as in any part of the legal field, it's hectic. It's on demand all the time. I mean, it's incredible pressure, really. I mean, because we have deadlines, we have things that have to be done. We can't lose people's homes. We can't lose people's cars. They have to make their payments every month as a trustee. We have to be on them. We have to babysit them. We have to hold their hands. Even though these are adults and we feel like we shouldn't have to, but this is what brought them to our door in the first place. We've all learned to work together to understand our differences. So, sometimes every now and then I still feel like, hey, they don't jive with me too well. They're not the ones to ask me to, hey, let's all go out for drinks after work or anything like that. It's not that kind of firm, really. We're only 7 people and we spend enough hours together already. But that's just how it is. Not everybody's going to like us, and we need to be okay with that. Number 6, the final one. We can't fix anyone except for ourselves. And that was my problem with my first 2 marriages. Is my first husband, he was a drug addict and an alcoholic. And I really thought that through my giving and through my caring and my over-attentiveness, setting myself aside and focusing 100% on him and his needs, that I'd be able to cure him, that I'd be able to motivate him to be a different person. Okay. Unfortunately, even though he was clean for years, his body finally gave out. I was 32 years old. He was 38 when he just passed away very unexpectedly. It was really a hard time, but in the need of being absolutely loved and cared for and taken care of and needing somebody else, feeling like I needed somebody else to validate myself, I jumped right into a new relationship. That was the biggest nightmare of my life. It was incredibly abusive. My kids went through hell. I went through hell. We were terrified. We were controlled. We couldn't leave home. If we did leave home, we were on a timer. This is a story for another day, but once again, it was giving to somebody everything I had, all my money, my home, my vehicles, a boat, an RV, giving to try to get somebody to like me. Because I didn't know at the time how to like myself. I didn't know how to be strong and self-confident. Luckily, that ended. It was very difficult to end. And anybody that's been in that situation or is in that situation knows the terror, the absolute terror of knowing if you're going to see the next day. But when I left, the best thing I did is I went straight into counseling and I went back to school. I got a degree in psychology. I said, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me that I keep throwing myself into these situations? I recognized the cycle. I was finally 40 years old. I recognized the cycle. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, breathe too hard. It is very possible to learn to love yourself again. Take the small moments when you have time all to yourself. Sit back, be yourself, evaluate how you feel and who you are. Really just deep down, even if you have to go back to when you were 5 years old, what made you laugh? How was your play? Did you like to dance? Did you like to sing? Did you like to draw? Did you like to get on the phone and talk to a friend? Who are you? Do you have a very big, caring heart that loves to hear the stories of others and find insights to bring them to the next place? It's amazing how many people really do have this great big heart. So, let's move on. If you feel that you're struggling with self-confidence and you would like to like yourself, maybe for the first time in a very long time, if you lack self-confidence and this is holding you back from your passion and purpose, are you scared to take that step because of the unknown? Let's have a conversation. I would love to speak with you and see if we can find some insights together. Each person is unique and each journey is unique. Now, here you have to know about me because I'm not for everybody. I am a no BS person. I'm a coach and I get paid just like you do. But first, I want to know who you are and I want you to know me. I'll block off 2 hours to have a conversation with you. I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to ask you to come to me. Not physically. It could be over the phone. It can be through Zoom, FaceTime. There's many ways we could do this. Unless you're in the Houston area, I would love to sit down and have a 2-hour conversation and dive deep to look for the insights, to bring healing and change. Those 2 hours may be all you need for now. You may have the insight and the shift you need. Or you may have an insight and need time to go process it and see what comes about and what your action plans might be. And we might feel at that time that you would like to go deeper. But first, I just want to have that conversation. We spend time together in the full experience of what coaching really is. If this is something your heart is pulling you towards, then let me know. 2 hours of my time, focus, and attention is all yours. You can contact me through my website, exceptional-you.com, or email ashleyjspurgeon@gmail.com. Spurgeon is Spurgeon. I don't live with my tech 24/7. If you leave a message, I'll get back to you. And we will schedule a time, or I'll contact you to answer some basic questions within 24 hours. And at that time, we'll schedule our 2 hours together by phone or Zoom chat. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain by doing this. If this isn't for you, but it piqued a thought of somebody else, then let them know about me. Okay? Don't give me their information. I don't cold call people. I only work by referral or invitation. So I have to get to know somebody first. You introduce me to them, tell them about this, or have your own 2-hour coaching experience so that then you can go to your friend or associate and say, hey, I know something that's really incredible. I've experienced it. Let's start at point 1. I so look forward to getting to know you all. This is a beautiful, hot, sweaty Sunday afternoon in Houston, Texas. I hope you all have an amazing week. One of my future projects is coming up. I've already started. I am working on the materials for what causes monetary blocks in our life. Why do we feel like we don't deserve to be successful? Why do we feel like that's good for them, but it's not us? We don't get that. We're not the lucky ones. So I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments about that. I would like to interview some people on that topic, people that have felt held back monetarily or people that have already broken through to that success, that has been able to embrace that life is abundant and there's plenty out there for everybody. Anyway, in the meantime, visit my website, read my other blog posts. You can listen to my podcasts on anywhere, Anchor, Pocket Radio, Spotify, anywhere you go. Anchor.fm is the platform that I actually record and edit on, and then they help post it to all these other different podcast servers. So pretty much anywhere that you can go, you can find me. It's you just look for Ashley Spurgeon, and I would love to hear your comments and concerns on that. If you go to Anchor.fm, you can actually leave voice messages, which is a really great new service that they provide. Anyway, have a wonderful week. Be happy. Love yourself. Take good care of yourself. And we will talk again next week.